Hey everybody, it's Cyborg, and I'm joined once again by Temp, and we are covering the entire Injustice comic book series. If you're just tuning in, definitely check out the previous episodes, previous issues, because we have covered all of the previous years, year 1 through 3, and now we're on year 4, so this is year 4, issue 3. Definitely check out the previous one so you don't get spoiled. If you're just tuning into us for the very first time, hey, like, subscribe. We do appreciate it. We are putting out a ton of videos. Like I said, we're covering the entire series, putting out an issue per day. And we put out a podcast each week called Nethercast, as well as reaction videos and all that typical good stuff that you get. So, anyways, just thought I'd mention that here. And we have a Facebook group that you can go in and try and join, and I will accept you. It's a closed group, not the like page, but let's jump into the actual comic book. Alright, pulling up the comic book chapters now. Okay, so we start out on a graveyard, and Batwoman is actually looking at the grave sites of the tombstone of Renee Montoya, and to the left we see Oliver Queen, and to the left of that we see Dina and Dinah, and Dina. Either way, Black Canary. Her tombstone is there as well. So she is presumed dead, even though we know she's not. But just to keep up appearances so nobody's looking for her, they put a tombstone anyways.
I didn't notice that. That's interesting.
Yeah. So, cool there. Nice little tidbit there that when Dr. Fate took her away to a safe place, they still obviously made it look like she was dead. So nobody's looking for her, which is nice. Nice little touch there. And then we cut to Batwoman says that she will get justice for all of them. And it won't be for nothing, she promises. And then we cut to Batman talking to Aquaman over his computer. They're Skyping. And Batman is trying to get Aquaman to help him and saying there's a war coming. But Aquaman says, I can't do that because last time I tried to help, Superman essentially took Atlantis and put it in the middle of the desert, as we saw in the first year. So Aquaman's still reluctant to help out here, and Batman's kind of he's kind of on his back legs here, trying to find some more help. He turns to Oracle, and they kind of have a back and forth, and he's just telling her to get ready, because we're going to need everything we got, and I'll give you the instructions when we got them, is what she replies with. And then we see her talking to Lex Luthor, and he says, "Are you ready?" And she says, "Yep, I'm ready to do this." We see her laying on a table, and he warns her of potential death from doing this procedure, but she said, we'll do it. Oddly enough, she's naked, and she's got a bunch of seeming like tubes and stuff in her. It's all sorts of creepy looking. And he commences the procedure. She turns into the Wolverine. This is the Weapon X program. Yeah. And she
the metal rods, stabbed into her legs and body seem a little unnecessary, but
yeah. So yeah, and then she has a gritting face, and it looks very painful, and Lex just looks on. So we assume she's doing something, because he kind of warns her of what happened to Montoya with the pills, so we assume that it's something to do with the pills that he's injecting into her. Then we cut to Harley, who has Billy all tied up, so this is getting even weirder.
Yeah, this is a tad strange.
Yeah, she has him tied to a chair, duct taped to a chair, his mouth duct taped shut. And she says, "Welcome to my secret hideout, the Quiver." And she explains that it used to be Green Arrow's lair, but now since he obviously is not using it anymore, she is using it as the Quiver. It's what I like how she says Mr. G would have wanted, so nice little throwback to how she would refer to the Joker, of course. And then she says, she does make mention that it would be creepy for them to have lunch as is, so she does want Shazam to come. No pun intended, of course. And she says they have a nice little picnic lunch and do some target practice, whatever innuendo you want to throw into there. And then all of a sudden her phone rings, and it turns out it is Oracle, so she needs to cut it short. She has him sniff a gas arrow, and he passes out, which is kind of a nice throwback to her in the Aeromobile, I guess. When
I forgot about that.
He first did that to her when he basically kidnapped her and was taking her back to the Arrow Cave at that point. He had her do the same thing. He had her sniff a gas arrow. I forgot about that too, but as I'm rereading this to you and to the audience, yeah, I remember that happened, so that's kind of a nice little callback as well. This comic series is great about the callbacks, for sure.
Almost too good, because some of it doesn't come back, some of it's too far behind, so
Right.
these little cues do help, but they're doing the Billy stuff longer than I thought they would. I thought it was going to be kind of a one-off, and they are still going with it.
Yeah, it's interesting to see what happens with it. And then, so Batman has them all wrangled up, and he says, thank you guys for coming. Looks like Zatanna and Black Lightning are unavailable. And, well, there is no one else, but then we see Batgirl appear, and Batman is shocked, and he says, Barbara? She says, no, Batgirl. She jumps down. They're all kind of shocked. Harley thought she had no legs. And then Batgirl says, no, Harley, I had my legs the whole time. I just couldn't use them. And she says, oh, that makes way more sense. So I don't know what the hell's wrong with her. Well, we all do, but...
Well, it's weird even for Harley.
Yes.
Because Harley can see. She's not blind. She's crazy.
Yes.
So it's goofy.
Yeah, Batman is reluctant to this whole idea of her being Batgirl again and helping out directly and, putting herself in danger. He says, he made a promise to her father, who we still have not seen since he disappeared. And which makes sense. And yeah, she says, you know what, it's not your choice. It's not his choice. It's my choice. It's my body. I'll do whatever I want. And Harley, in a very odd fashion, I thought, like, unbefitting of the character, she says, true dat, son, and throws, like, her hands, like, true dat, son. I don't know.
I was looking at that. It's really awkward looking. It looks like she's, like, her lips are all pouty, and I couldn't tell what that was. It's like an old teacher trying to, appeal to the kids. Like, it's just, that is not the Harley that like. Harley's been really well written in this comic book series, but yeah, I think that was the first thing that she's done or said that really is just like, oh no, we're not going to this type of Harley because Harley's the type of character that she can be the best character, or she can be done absolutely poorly in a sense where people think they're being funny with her, but they're being very cheesy and not funny and trying too hard to be funny, but not. And this was the trying too hard and not funny attempt at being funny. So, yeah, it's paradoxical for sure. Harley works best when you don't see her jokes coming. It works best when you don't think she's going to say something, and then she says something hilarious and just unpredictable.
But that's just not. Yeah, that's just not even Harley. That nothing about that was what I imagined. Yeah, so I really hope that's not That's not a sign of things to come with this new writer. I really hope that's not. Otherwise, Harley could get a little cringeworthy. But anyways,
we'll see. Yeah, it's possible.
All of a sudden, we see a ton of soldiers at the footsteps of the Hall of Justice, and we see one of them shout out Superman, and by decree of the Almighty Father Zeus, you are ordered to vacate Earth, or suffer the wrath of the army of Amazon. And Wonder Woman seems perplexed and a little pissed off. That's the end of that chapter, and we'll jump right into the next chapter here. We have Damian. He looks like he's practicing against like a wooden dummy, and he is just snapping parts of the dummy because he's just so angry and motivated. Cyborg says, damn, dude. Flash shows a little concern too and wonders what's going on. They both kind of have like a little intervention with him, and he's being typical Damian, kind of takes jabs back at them and is kind of pissy and moany and makes a mention of, what is this, the dead mother and father's, support club because of Flash's dead mother and Cyborg's whole family issues as well.
Damian just doesn't quit, man. Like,
yeah, he's just constant emo status. Like, he's just never gonna give it up. But yeah, so Flash and Cyborg kind of mess with them, and they, like I said, he trades barbs with them. We do get a little mention of Talia, and that was kind of neat. And then, but Batman, they both say, yeah, I guess if Batman was our father, that would totally suck. And they both agreed and made a little joke about tracking devices in his underwear. Damian goes to punch the Flash, much like he would do to Nightwing or something like that. The cheap shots with this guy. And Flash moves out of the way, and Damian falls over onto the ground.
and they walked off.
Just
Sarcastically
overall
saying,
not smart. Like, you
yeah,
don't... punching the Flash is just probably not a good move.
anger issues, emotional issues to the extreme for sure with that one. And then we cut back to the soldiers at at the Hall of Justice steps, and they say, well, they repeat it basically, and then Wonder Woman has kind of a back and forth with the group, and she kind of wonders what's going on and where's her mother in all of this. What's happening? Why are you guys doing this? And she tells them to stand down. Well, anyways, we see an interaction between. Let me get their names again because I always forget their names. But Hera's the one that is leading the charge here, and then there's Wonder Woman's mother. I always forget this. Oh, Hippolyta. Hip Hop Anonymous lady.
Yeah.
Hippolyta.
Hippopotamus.
We'll call it Hippolyta. And so they have a back and forth between Hera and Hippolyta, and basically Hera explains that she helped out Hippolyta when Wonder Woman was in the eternal sleep, so this is her collecting on that, and because Wonder Woman's mother, Hippolyta, is not okay with this, and that she fears for her daughter's safety if they, all the Themyscira soldiers go after Superman and his regime. Anyways, they have a back and forth, and Hera ends up seemingly killing her, but we don't really know. She does this like blasting scream and says, you know what, if you're not going to stand down, then so be it. Then they'll march without you. And we see her doing this blast, and then her, Hippolyta screaming in pain and her like disappearing in it, but we don't really know what actually her fate is.
I'm leaning, given the pattern, it seems to be that she burned to death in the light. Because we see, flames and I guess, no smoke, literally just flames. And it actually is a really well-drawn panel, but it sounds, I feel like it's part of the pattern of this character served their purpose. We don't have the screen time to write them later.
Right.
Let's knock them out. So I'm going to take a stab and say she's dead, but I mean, I've been wrong, like, on a grand scale before, so we'll see.
So then Wonder Woman's going back and forth with Hera and the soldiers, and she wants to know what's happening with where's her mother, and Superman is backing her up on this and saying, we're just looking to make sure that her mother is safe, and this is where she's pleading with the soldiers to stand down. They continue, and all of a sudden Robin, or I guess Damian, and Cyborg show up with all the Superman soldiers as backup. And then we see Batman fly in with his group as well, and they say, you know what, they're there for the fight as well. They pull like a, what the hell is that? The Outsiders moment where he says, Rumble isn't a rumble without me. Anyways, movie reference, okay. And then Batman and his group show up, like I said, and they have a little confrontation. Superman says, of course he is. He obviously doesn't remember what I told him last time we spoke. And Batman says, I remember, Clark. But you were wrong. It's not over. Which I also said it was over too, so I was wrong as well. He doesn't say that, but I mean, he did say it was over.
Yeah, he basically says that. I had a problem with the line before, and my problem still stands.
Yeah. So, anyways, he is shaven now. He got rid of the beard. Full-on cowl, so he put that cowl back on after Superman said not to. So that's a no-no. And we are left with the to be continued. So we don't know what's going to happen with this ginormous fight that's about to go on. More deaths? Who knows? But we have a lot of characters looking for some revenge in some sort. And we have the X Factor with the Themyscira soldiers as well now in the fight.
And I mean, it brings us all back to that little deal Batman threw with Ares that was all obscured.
Right.
I presume that this army... and the manipulation of Hera, manipulating Zeus, and it's all very Batman with a twist of Ares, and I do like it. Like I know, like I've been going into Gear for some hesitation, but it's not bad so far.
No,
I mean, it's got some problems, but
it's just it's okay. It's not bad. It's not great. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with okay at this point. We've had our. I think we both understand that our best days are behind us, but at the same time, this isn't necessarily bad by any means, at least not this far. it's tolerable by all means, and at some points enjoyable. So yeah, this is another decent issue. It was okay, and yeah, I'm interested to see where the story plays out, and the more characters being brought into the fold and what happens going forward, what the fate of some of these characters are. So yeah, another issue, guys. We'll see you with the next issue. Not a whole lot else to discuss because once again, this is more just setting up things, and we have yet to see the payoff. So maybe we'll get that in the next issue, but we'll see you tomorrow for issue number 4 of year 4. 444, 4 for Thor. You guys have a good one. We'll see you tomorrow.
Peace.